Okay, so Samsung might actually be cooking, and these 5 devices could end up being some of the most interesting of the whole year. Let's talk about what's available, how they stack up on paper, and why I think this is the most exciting Samsung summer release in a long while. Hey guys, I'm Ryan Thomas, and there's a lot to unpack. The jokes write themselves around here. No, but seriously, Samsung has unveiled the new Z Flip 8, the Z Fold 8, the Z Fold 8 Ultra, the Galaxy Watch 9 and the Galaxy Watch Ultra 2. And quite frankly, I've not been this excited in a long time. And it could give us a little bit of a closer look as to what Apple will be doing with its debut foldable later this year. I'll jump straight into the juicy bit, the Z Fold 8, the one everyone and their grandma has seen in renders and leaks online. It's called the Wide Boy. Samsung is targeting this one directly at people who consume a lot of content on their phone, with a 10:16 aspect ratio externally, and then a 4:3 aspect ratio internally. Or in other words, it's more stout on the outside, which will allow it to fit 16:9 content a little easier, and then when you open the Z Fold 8 up, it's more like sort of an iPad mini in size. Actually, it's about as wide as the iPhone Pro Max with a case on it when it's shut. It's a properly stout little thing, very squared off corners. Maybe the closest thing I could compare it to is like a passport or a wallet or something like that. Both panels are 120 Hz with 3000 nits of total peak brightness and Samsung's super impressive anti-glare coating that's up there with the best of them in my opinion, because this is something that I was annoyed about with previous versions of Samsung's foldables, but it seems like the company's actually worked quite hard on that, so plus points for that. It's also packing a 4800 mAh battery, not silicon carbon kind, 45 watt wired and 20 watt wireless charging, and of course the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy, with either 12 or 16 gigs of RAM and between 256 gigs and 1 terabyte of storage. Unfortunately, we're only getting the 50 megapixel main and ultra wide cameras on the wide version. I say that because this phone in the UK at least starts at $1699. £1,700, which is an absurd amount of money for a smartphone with 2 lesser cameras and 256 gigs of storage. But I've yet to test this whole thing out in person in the real world, so get subscribed to stay tuned for our review. Speaking of, if you do love the content we make here, then again, please do hit subscribe to help us hit our goal of 500,000. Thank you very much. The Z Fold 8 Ultra, ironically, is probably the less interesting of the 2 Bookstar foldables here. It's much closer to what we've been used to seeing from Samsung in recent years, a taller outer screen which results in a squarer inner panel. Both 120Hz again with that anti-reflective coating that I spoke about earlier. Same internal specifications, although there is an extra 200 mAh, so a total of a 5000 mAh battery with 45 watt and 20 watt wireless charging. Again, no silicon carbon batteries to be used here. Samsung's called it the slimmest fold ever. The cameras look identical to last year, though the ultra wide has been upgraded to a 50 megapixel sensor this time around, so it's probably closer to what we've seen in the likes of the recent Galaxy Ultras. The camera system is also coming with the ability to shoot APV video, much like the Ultra, and there's also a new flexible 8K shooting feature that will reframe a 16:9 shot to a mobile-friendly format. It locks onto subjects, you tap a subject, it reframes it to go vertical. How useful this feature will be in the real world, I guess we'll find out. I would be shocked if the Ultra was more popular than the regular this time, despite the naming conventions. Like sure, it's objectively probably the better phone, but with the new regular 8 having a fancy new form factor, especially given it's only £200 less than the Fold 8 Ultra, which starts at an eye-watering $1899 here in the UK. That is crazy. The 1149 Flip 8 is, again, a lot more like what we've seen from Samsung in recent years. It looks very much like a facelifted Z Flip 7 with updated internal specifications and a slightly lighter chassis this time around. However, there is one thing that keeps me very excited about the Z Flip 8. If you've ever used one of Samsung's flips before, you'll know that to get any real use out of that external display, you have to go through Samsung Good Lock and enable third-party apps to be used on the small screen. Well, finally, Samsung has ditched that requirement and is natively baking in this functionality to make the external display act as more of a full-size smartphone screen. It also has a much nicer UI to sort of go along with this and to make this use case just a lot more viable. Good job, Samsung. I applaud you because I've been asking for this for a long time. The product that I'm most excited about though, I haven't even spoken about yet. It's the Galaxy Watch Ultra 2. Now, if you watch my coverage of the original Watch Ultra, you'll know that I'm a massive fan. I almost ditched my Garmin, my beloved Garmin, for one at one point. This new iteration is looking to refine things with a thinner and lighter profile and a much more ergonomic band. Because I have to admit, the predecessor was a bit of a chungus. It was one of my gripes with it, especially that band. It was like honestly, it was like wearing a belt around your arm. This new one comes with a 35% larger battery as well, at around 800 mAh, and a Snapdragon Wear Elite SoC. Screen is now rated for 5,000 nits of peak brightness. That's staggeringly bright, and I'm excited to see how that translates to the real world when you're out for a run on a sunny day or something. The watch is 12% thinner, designed for efficiency, has new activities available including trail running. It's also now IP69K rated, so should be resistant against high pressure water jets and high temperatures. It's 100% dustproof and rated at 100 meters resistant to 10 atmospheres for diving. Really solid stuff. It goes on sale the 7th of August for £649. It's looking really good. The £349 or £379 Watch 9 is also looking to be a really nice upgrade. The same Wear Elite as the Ultra, 3000 nits peak brightness in the screen as opposed to the 5000, and those prices were for the 40 and 44mm variants respectively. There are new health features like vitals, blood oxygen, along with just the HRV, heart rate, skin temp and respiratory rate. Samsung has also put effort into a softer, more malleable band, much like the Ultra 2. I think that is going to go quite a long way into making the watch feel more comfortable long term on the wrist. We'll have to see what they're like in person though. What's intriguing about all of this is how it's going to affect the industry and the competing models going forward. What about the foldable iPhone? Is it going to suddenly look like the Fold 8? Is it going to be wide? I mean, the leaks and the rumours seem to point towards that. Are we about to see Honor, Oppo and others create just fat foldables everywhere? Would you even like to see that? What about the new Google Pixel Fold? How's that going to go? Even if you don't like Samsung, they tend to be the front runners in this kind of stuff, and you'll find other companies taking inspiration. Okay, so not perhaps every single product here is the most exciting to look at, but the wide Galaxy Fold 8 and the Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 are big releases. And I really look forward to actually getting a hold of these outside of the event environment to put them through their paces in the real world, where I can release the full reviews for you guys. Which of these product releases are you most excited for? Honestly, as much as the Fold 8 and its wacky wide form factor have me intrigued, I think the Watch Ultra 2 is the one I'm actually hoping to really get my hands on for long-term review. I mean, I had spent quite a bit of time with the original Ultra and I wanted to switch to that thing full time at one point. Also, if there's anything you want me to cover in the reviews of any of these products, do let me know in the comments and I will do my best to go with those. Anyway, whilst you're down there in the comments section, be sure to like if you enjoyed today's content and subscribe to never miss another upload on this channel. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been Ryan Thomas and I'll catch you later. Cheers.